Hey family, welcome back to the channel. If you are here, chances are you've either walked away from a narcissistic relationship or you're still caught in it, trying to make sense of the pain, trying to make sense of the confusion, trying to make sense of the silence that somehow speaks volumes. Today I want to talk to you heart to heart, yes, spirit to spirit, about 5 ways a narcissist humiliates you without saying a word, without saying anything. Because it's not always in the words. Sometimes the deepest wounds, sometimes the deepest hurts come from what they don't say, comes from what they don't say or do, and from what they do in silence. So let's go there. My name is Iyabo, and by the grace of the Almighty, I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor. And I quickly want to invite you to my boundary setting masterclass, which is taking place this June, which is my birthday masterclass. Ooh, June is my birthday, and as a gift, I'm inviting you to this masterclass to learn about boundary setting, because boundaries are powerful when it comes to protecting your power and your peace from the narcissist. But you gotta know how to do it right, and that explains why I'm inviting you to this masterclass to learn how to do boundaries right. Our topic of discussion is 5 common mistakes survivors make when setting boundaries with a narcissist. And so come and learn on June 21st 2025, 12 p.m. WAT. The class is going to be online, but you got to secure a seat, and you can secure a seat by going to yaboyawale.com/masterclass. Just go to yaboyawale.com/masterclass to secure a seat. Seats are limited, by the way, and so go grab yours quickly. And so let's delve into the video proper. And so the first way that a narcissist humiliates you without saying anything is through what we call the silent stare. STAR, the silent stare. And with the silent stare, you know that look. The look is cold, the look is expressionless, and it's even condescending, like you're invisible or pathetic. Can you relate to that? It's not just silence, it's psychological warfare. It's meant to reduce you, it's meant to make you doubt your worth. And psychologically, this is called quote and unquote non-verbal invalidation. The narcissist withdraws affection, the narcissist withdraws eye contact, the narcissist withdraws presence to make you feel small. And it triggers your survival response, making you chase their approval, all while they sit back and watch. And spiritually, family, this is spiritual manipulation. God created us for connection. And John 15:12 says, love one another as I have loved you. But the narcissist uses absence as punishment. Their silence is a form of emotional starvation. Their silence is a form of emotional desertion. Their silence is a form of emotional rejection, emotional abandonment. And it's not from God. It's a counterfeit power designed to break your spirit, designed to drain your soul. And so what is the second thing that narcissists do to humiliate you without saying a word? Public praise for others, private neglect for you. And so they praise everyone else but ignore or diminish you. At gatherings, they compliment other people. They cheer up for strangers. But when it comes to you, silence. Or worse, passive disapproval. And psychologically, this is a tactic called quote and unquote triangulation. It's used to make you feel like you're not enough. It's used to make you feel like you don't measure up, like you have to earn their affection, that like you have to compete for their affection, like you have to prove your worth. It's humiliation without words, just contrast. Spiritually, God is not the author of confusion. And 1 Corinthians 14:33 says what? When someone constantly uplifts others, God is not the author of confusion, and we can find that in 1 Corinthians 14:33. Now, when someone constantly uplifts others but never affirms your presence, especially when you poured into them, they are not loving you with God's love. They are exalting themselves while keeping you low. They are exalting themselves while keeping you low, which is pride in disguise. And we all know that the narcissist exists based on pride, ego. Yeah. Now, the third thing that narcissists do to humiliate you without saying a word, without saying anything, is withholding affection and intimacy. They withhold affection and intimacy. And we've got a video on that, sex withholding narcissists. I'll link to it in the description. And so there are no hugs, there are no smiles, there is no warmth. They act like you don't exist until they need something from you. That is when they run to you. That is when they remember that you exist. And psychologically, this is emotional withholding. It's a form of passive aggressive control. And it's like being punished without a trial. You're not told what you did wrong. Sometimes you're just confused. You can't even understand why they do the things that they do. You are just iced out. You don't know why you are being treated that way. And over time, this makes you question your lovability and value. You believe you are unlovable. You believe you are hard to love. You believe you're worthless. That is it. It is not the truth, but based on their actions, you begin to think that way. And spiritually, this is not love, it's torment. And the Bible says there's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. 1 John 4:18. Now, withholding affection is silent punishment. It is not your fault. Especially for those who are married, when these kind of things happen, I fathom what the narcissist wants you to do, to jump out or what? I don't get it. Now, withholding affection is silent punishment. It's not your fault. You're worthy of warmth. You're worthy of compassion. You're worthy of connection. If you're just joining us, let me quickly invite you to my birthday masterclass on boundary setting. Now, boundaries are powerful in the narcissistic setup to protect your power and your peace, but you gotta know how to do it right. And that is why I'm inviting you to my birthday masterclass. My birthday is in June, but on June 21st, 2025, 12 p.m. WAT, we're gonna go live online. And the topic of discussion is 5 common mistakes survivors make when setting boundaries with their narcissist. And so come and learn how to do boundaries right. It's going to be a powerful expose, I tell you. And I look forward to seeing you live. But you got to register for a seat. Just go to iyaboyawale.com/masterclass, iyaboyawale.com/masterclass to secure a seat, because seats are limited. Thank you if you just did that. And so what is the fourth thing that narcissists do? Disgusted body language. They show disgust in their body language. Their body language speaks louder than their words. The sighs, the eye rolls, the smirks, the way they pull away when you reach out. It's subtle, but it stings like fire. Psychologically, this is called non-verbal contempt. And contempt is the number one predictor of relationship destruction. Dr. John Gottman calls it quote and unquote sulfuric acid for love. The narcissist uses this as a form of covert shaming you in a covert manner. Now, spiritually, this is not a posture of someone walking in love or humility. Philippians 2:3 says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. That is the Bible for you. But the narcissist always contradicts the Bible. Disgusted looks and demeaning gestures are not of God. They are tools of the enemy meant to degrade your soul. They are tools of the enemy meant to drain your soul, break your spirit. They are not of God. And so you gotta know that this fifth thing that narcissists do to humiliate you without saying a word is ignoring your pain. They ignore your pain. You cry, they scroll. You're hurt, they change the subject. You share your heart, they go cold. The humiliation is in the dismissal. They just dismiss you like a small child, like a small baby. It's as if your emotions are a nuisance. It's as if your emotions are nothing to them. Psychologically, this is empathic failure. It teaches you over time that your needs are so empathic failure teaches you over time that your needs are too much, that your pain is invalid. It plants the seeds of shame. It plants the seeds of doubt in you. And spiritually, Jesus never ignored pain. He leaned into it. He wept with those who wept. He touched the untouchable. That is Christ for you. But the narcissist always does the opposite of what God recommends. And when someone habitually ignores your pain, they are not mirroring Christ. They are acting out of a hardened heart, and you deserve better. I tell you, I always tell you, you deserve better. You deserve love that listens. You deserve love that cares. You deserve love that cares about you. Before I go to my final thoughts, let me ask, who can relate to how the narcissist treats you when you're sick or something? We all know what happens then. In closing, I know this episode may have touched some deep places. Yeah, I know. Maybe you're realizing you've experienced these silent attacks for years, maybe even months, whatever it is. Maybe you are still stuck in it, or maybe you finally walked away but still feel the shame. I want you to know something, and that is, you are not crazy. I want you to know that you're not weak. I want you to know that you're not dramatic. Whatever it is the narcissist has called you, you are not. I tell you, you are the opposite of what the narcissist has said you are. You were strategically humiliated by someone who wanted power over you. You were strategically humiliated by someone who wanted control over you. But today, God is calling you to healing. Today, God is calling you to restoration. Today, God is calling you to the truth. And Psalm 34 verse 18 says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. It's almost like a verse that we constantly use on this channel, but it's a powerful one. So whether you've left or you're still finding the strength to go, know that you are not alone. Yes, on this channel, you are not alone because it's a strong and supportive community, and we hold hands virtually in our fight against narcissistic abuse. And I see you. God sees you too, because He is El Roi, the God who sees you, and He will restore your dignity. That dignity that was lost to the narcissist, He will restore. That dignity that was taken away forcefully by the narcissist, He will restore. And if this video spoke to your heart, share your story in the comments, or just drop love emoji so we know you're on the journey too. Don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications. We are walking through this together, day by day, week by week, year by year, month by month. We are in this together. You are not alone, and you are deeply loved. See you in the next one.